So I was looking up serial killers the other day on Wikipedia, and the funnest one, like we've all heard about a few of them. The funnest one by far is this guy called Pedro Lopez. And I thought it was kind of interesting because he basically for the first half of his life, he kept getting raped just by people. I don't know. Just people. He was in prison for a little bit. They raped him. He was picked up. He was an orphan. They raped him. A lot of raping. And then for the second half of his life, he went ahead and he raped a lot of girls and then murdered them. Sort of as like a, I don't know, as like a. It makes sense, right? Like equal and opposite reaction, right? You rape a guy, he's gonna rape people. It's yeah. But that's not the interesting bit. Firstly, can you guess how many people he killed? If I told you 40, what would you think? You think that's realistic? It's a realistic amount? It's 40's a fucking ton of people, right? That is 40 is like that's not a sustainable amount. Like we can't afford to keep those numbers up on a systemic basis. 40 is a lot of people. But this man did not kill 40 people. He did not kill 40 people. He killed at least 300 people. Just fucking like I don't even know 300 people. Like I don't even think that I've said hi to 300 people in my life. So if nothing else, you gotta respect his. Well, I guess he's not social, but you know, like he got around. He met a lot of people before he died. I don't know if they were all little girls though, right? Oh, I know, right? Little girls. Fuck. Like as if it wasn't bad enough. But yeah, they were all little girls, so I can't imagine they would have had that much interesting to say before he murdered them. Probably wasn't the reason that he probably wasn't looking for conversation there. So yeah, this guy murdered 300, possibly 500. Can you fucking imagine? Killing 500 people. That's a big impact that you've had on stuff. He's the eighth most well-known Pedro on ever. This guy. Well, no, maybe he's eighth most well-known living, according to rank.com, I think. What's it called? Ranker.com, yeah, which you can vote on people who are famous, if that's what you're into. But yeah, you know, so some people like to play baseball, you know. Other Pedros have gone on and played football, you know, some have acted, but this guy, coming in at number 8, age 68, Pedro Lopez, murdered at least 300 little girls. You'd feel a little bad for Pedro Alvarez, who is a Dominican American baseball player, who comes in at number 9. He just couldn't quite cut it. Clearly he's been investing his time in the wrong activity. But yeah, Pedro Orlanzo Lopez, attractive name, murdered 300 little girls, in different countries. See, this is where it starts to get hilarious, right? This is where it starts to get, you know, as if 300 dead raped girls wasn't funny enough. This is where it starts to get hilarious. He was apparently, we're not 100% sure about this, but apparently he was murdering, you know, as you do, murdering a girl, you know, in where was it? In Peru. He was murdering a girl in Peru, and he was caught by a bunch of natives who found him, and they were like, dude, fucking, you're murdering a girl. What's going on there? And they found, and because that's the way they deal with it, they were so surprised that they buried him alive. It's like that's the tribal law. It says if you catch a guy murdering a girl, bury him alive. That'll do it. So yeah, they were trying to bury him alive, but then, right, this was I don't know how many murders this is in. I don't know exactly, but this is like during the 1970s, right? So by this point, because he was born in 1948, he's like 22, right? Is that correct? Yeah, he's about 22 here, and he only started murdering at like 21. Okay, so this is really early in his career. About to get killed by these tribespeople, but this missionary barges in, and, you know, because he knows best, right? He's got the fucking European liberal traditions and shit, and he says, oh, you know, gotta give this to the state, let the state deal with this. And he convinced the tribe, and the tribe were like, okay, we'll give him to the state. So, almost killed, managed to make a little quick escape there. He was taken to the state, and the state, the Peruvian police, I don't know what happened here. No one knows exactly what happened here, but for some reason, the Peruvian police just deported him to Colombia. Right? He was caught red-handed raping and murdering a girl, and they were like, fuck it. Just let the fucking Colombians deal with it. And then he moved to Colombia, and he murdered apparently a girl, 3 girls a week. That was his routine. Was he would just go, like it's like yeah, it's like working out, right? You get like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you get your rest days in between. That was his fucking. He did it, man. that was his strategy. And yeah, like 300 to 500 girls later, um, they some people catch him in a market trying to murder and rape a girl, and they're understandably a bit pissed. So they sort of trap him until authorities arrive. This is where is this? This is in Ecuador, because he'd moved away from Colombia. He'd moved to Ecuador by that time. Because apparently, I just have to get this quote for him. It's like a wonderful quote. And look, this is just for any aspiring rape murder people around that area. This is talking from a guy who has probably the most experience of any person alive, on raping and murdering girls. He said, "I like the girls in Ecuador. They're more gentle and trusting, more innocent." So there you go. That's Take notes, my friends. This is Ecuador is the place to be. Just don't fucking do it in the market like a fucking idiot, okay? then you're fine. Okay, so wonderful. So then in like 1981, this guy pleads guilty of a bunch of murders. They didn't believe him at first, but they found out that he'd murdered shit tons of people. Pleads guilty to murdering 57 girls, and then he goes to finally serves like a proper prison sentence. Guess how many years? Less. Guess lower. Keep going lower. 16 years. 16 years is what he got. They said, you have murdered 57 girls. Right, confirmed. Killed 57 warm, beating hearts, and now still because of you. And also, raped them. And yeah, 16 years. That seems like a fair sentence. I mean, you'd think you'd get at least like 1 year per murder, right? I think that's fair, right? I'm sorry, but you want it to be at least that, right? I like the tribal solution. Just fucking bury him. Just fucking put him in the ground. Don't have to worry about him anymore. 16 years. Oh, Jesus. Oh. And then 14 years later, he was released on good behavior. There's something's gone wrong here, right? Like, surely good behavior doesn't factor into it once you've killed 300 people. Yeah, so he was released on good behavior. He was deported to Colombia because, that worked out so brilliantly last time. And the authorities arrested him there, but then they declared him insane. Because he probably was insane, let's be honest. He probably wasn't exactly a mentally well-adjusted person. Declared him insane in 1995, institutionalized him. And then get this, in February 1998, he was declared sane and released for $50 bail. Boom! Poof! Boom! He's out. So, for murdering more than 300 girls, he served a total of what? 17 years. That is, at least though, because he murdered like 12-year-olds. So, at least there's like one generation of girls that sort of escaped in between there. Oh, shit. So yeah, we didn't fail entirely. There was a bunch of girls that sort of escaped his little radar. But like, you're like, okay, we're not gonna lock him up for murdering thousands and hundreds of people, literally hundreds of people, because he's insane. So let's put him insane. But now he's sane. Let's let him out. It's like, no. If he's sane, you put him in prison for murdering the 300 girls. He's not even fucking well connected either, by the way. This isn't like some really high up mafia guy. He's had like a colloquial name, the Monster of the Andes, but he doesn't have connections or anything. This is just people thinking, oh yeah, 14 years, good behavior sounds fine, and then letting him out from mental hospital after 3 years, because now apparently he's just as sane as he was when he was murdering 300 girls. So yeah, apparently back then the justice system in sort of Central South America, no, North, South Central America, I don't know what you call that place. So yeah, fun fact about Pedro Lopez. We don't know where he is, by the way. That's another fun fact. Another little fun fact there. He absconded. He was released in 1998, and since then, we have no clue where this motherfucker is. He has murdered possibly either the most or the second most people of any individual who has just stuck knives in people until they've died. He's one of the best, and he's alive, and he's out there, and he was released in 1998. Current whereabouts unknown is the conclusion there. So, if you know any 69-year-old Peruvian chaps, just pop the question. Just ask. Be like, oh hey, by the way, did you murder like 500 girls at one point? And if you actually are Pedro Alonso Lopez, then leave a comment, man. I don't know. it'd be great to hear from you. I haven't seen you in a while. Be nice to know what's going on. So yeah, I don't know. Leave us a funny story or something. The most recent. Like, what was the worst thing that happened to you this week? I'm interested. In how his life is going and where his life is. So yeah, if you are Pedro Alonso Lopez, please leave us a comment. I mean, you have to at this point. Come on. I've dedicated like a whole YouTube video to you. You have to at least say something. Even if it's just like, oh hey, nice vid. Nice to get some recognition.